position on this one.
Okay. Again, as a board, you can indicate how you wish us to move forward on this, and so this is an option, and so you want me to
Discussion from the rest of the board?
Well, I'd like to see basically what I said. I guess if we need to move this forward, to put it in a form of a motion or a consensus or whatever, but basically what the direction would be to just let the CEO's office and the water agency come back with a plan. And I tend to agree with Supervisor Delbor. I'm not so sure that using the RDA is I think there's other ways that we can rearrange the staffing and whatnot to focus on the project that we've identified. So I'm not a big fan of using, to me, the RDA money is kind of a last resort, when I think we have some other, some of these grant funded, these other things that we do. I mean, we have a water project identified, and we can talk about doing studies on other water issues, but we have a project identified now, and I think that should be the priority. It's been securing more water has been the mission statement of our water agency for years. We're finally now just focusing on that mission, and I think we need to put all of our resources toward that. And yes, it's going to let some of these other studies and things fall by the wayside for a year or two, but I think we need to put our money in the direction of this project for more water. And I'm not so sure that, I think we can maybe do it internally with a budget, and we don't really need that $100,000 from the RDA.
Okay, is there any, I'm sorry, Supervisor Colfax.
Well, these may be legitimate concerns, but I do not think it's appropriate that we are managing through the budget at this particular time. If we have these concerns, we need to address these at the appropriate time and not in the middle of a budget hearing. We find ourselves here, in effect, taking a look at a particular set of priorities that we have opinions about and shifting those around. That's not what the budget's all about. I don't agree that this is the place to do it, and I would suggest that if these are out there, that we revisit the priorities. We've had discussions about water issues, but we should not be micromanaging or moving in the direction of micromanaging through manipulation of the budget. I just don't think it's a good priority, because we may have all kinds of issues with the other departments where we have concerns, and we could spend a lot of time up here trying to introduce management priorities into what is a context where we should be looking at budget priorities. So I don't think it does any harm to move forward with this the way it is, and this does not mean that we would be committed categorically to that kind of activity in that particular agency a week from now, a month from now, a year from now.
And that's my direction, was basically to let the CEO and the water agency work it out. That's
not what I was hearing. If I misheard it or misunderstood it.
No, it's to turn it basically for the CEO to come back with a recommendation, but basically to try to do it internally within the water agency, and not necessarily taking as a first step to taking the RDA money to solve the problem. I think with the movement of staff and whatnot and resources within the budget of the water agency, we can come up with the $250,000 for the Scout Lake. So we're on the same page here, David. We might be in a different book here, but we're on the same page.
Okay, does everybody understand Johnny's request? Is there any objection to forwarding Johnny's request? Supervisor.
Thank you. Just since we're on the topic in terms of programmatic concerns, I want to make sure that we're not gutting every aspect of the water agency's budget to do one specific project. I mean, we have many things underway in coastal watersheds that I don't want to see just abandoned at the 11th hour when they've been progressing and there's lots and lots of progress. The same with the funding on conservation. We voted to support conservation efforts. That's going to be a key piece of, I believe, the general plan when we talk about the water element and the Uki Valley Area Plan. So I want to make sure that all of those things are considered. So an appropriate recommendation is made that encompasses all of these issues and doesn't just gut one aspect of it to fulfill another programmatic idea. So I just want to make sure it's a balanced approach. But I agree with Supervisor Colfax. I don't think this is the time to get into those specifics right now. We need to talk about the bottom line dollar figure, sure. But within that context, I think we need to do that at another time. And those are things we'd want to hear from the professionals in the water arena. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor Delmer.
Well, I would just say it once again, this is the budget process. And it's during the budget process, we set the priorities and our game plan for the year. And we do that by allocating the funds where we think they belong and to meet our priority issues. This is the right spot to do this. We've had discussions, we've set the policy throughout the year. It's time to step up with the funding and take care of those needs. This is the appropriate vehicle to do so.
Supervisor Pinson.
Well, I don't think Kendall, it's about gutting the water agency budget. You have appropriations of roughly $640,000. And I think it's basically agreed upon that to meet the $250,000 project goal for the Scout Lake, there's already been $25,000 in fund balance carryover and $100,000 from the Mill Creek Insurance. So we're only talking about the $125,000